Your face literally changes when your thoughts change, because when your thoughts change, your reality change. The only thing that you need to understand about this though is that when you put time and effort into investing in yourself and actually caring about your well-being, naturally you will change externally. Like, you will begin to change externally, even if it's in little increments. You're going to see massive changes in your body and also your face.
What does internal beauty mean? I stumbled across this question in a group chat that I'm a part of that had me really beginning to think over the true message behind this achievability of femininity. How do we become beautiful on the inside? What does it mean to be a beautiful person? Not from the external sense, but the internal. How do I achieve this state of being? I grappled a lot with this question, and it's not one that, in my opinion, has a simple answer. Following your heart, in my opinion, makes the sentiment feel jaded in a sense. Our hearts are not always reliable. There are times where you want the worst for someone because of how they treated you or how they treated someone that you love and care for. That heart posture was one that wanted wickedness. To rely on something like that seems too superficial and doesn't encompass the true meaning behind the statement. Okay, so if not that, then what? The mind? Well, no, not that either, as the mind is at times too logical and militant when it comes to setting things straight and doesn't always account for things like grace, compassion, and others. The lack of those things makes life less meaningful without the application of these emotions. Again, this question does not have a simple answer, but I do have my beliefs as to the achievability of this characteristic. As a Christian, a lot of my attempts is to use the scriptures and religious texts to find stories and proverbs that highlight the types of postures that we ought to have within our societies. One scripture that I sometimes refer back to is Proverbs 31:30, which states that favor is deceitful and beauty is vain, but a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be praised. In this scripture alone, it lets me know that it does not matter the favor that I have in the world. It does not matter the beauty that I may have, but as long as I fear God, then I will have the praise that I need from that. And I think this is a natural request or requirement to say that knowing the God that you serve is a way of showing the beauty that is on the inside, because the scriptures do show and indicate ways for you to be a better individual so that you can walk the earth and be a light in the world, as the scriptures like to tell us. Another scripture is in 1 Peter 3, verses 3 to 4, which says, "Whose adorning, let it not be that outward adorning of plaiting the hair and of wearing of gold or of putting on of apparel, but let it be the inside man, the hidden man of the heart, in that which is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit, which is in the sight of God of great price." This again is showing you do not need to be the eccentric person, I guess, but having a spirit that is humble, having a spirit that is kind and compassionate, and every characteristic that can come from being of a meek and quiet spirit is what I think kind of reflects this attitude, this beauty that is on the inside, not so much on the outside. I know I said before that I don't have a word to describe the sentiment, but while sharing my thoughts, I can actually kind of think of one. And the word that I think of is servitude. I know this word has a lot of negative connotations to it, so please just give me a minute to let me explain my framework a little. While looking at stories of Christ before his crucifixion, we see an example of a woman with an alabaster box. The story speaks to this woman not having anything to wash Christ's feet with but her perfumes and hair. So she knelt down before him, poured the perfume onto his feet, and washed it with her hair. In another example that I have, along the same vein, an elderly woman was blessing her grandson in a video that I had watched when he was leaving the village or the town that they lived in. Upon his departure, she wanted to perform a ceremony of washing his feet before leaving. She realized that she didn't have a towel and dried his feet with her hair, both to remove the moisture from his feet, but also as an act of prayer for his walk to be straight and lead him to where God had him go. This act of service is one that truly encompasses the posture that they are taking as women. And I think this truly depicts the posture that we as women thrive in. This ability to serve those around us, whether it be our friends, like in the Maintaining Friendships video that I have for you guys to watch. I think this act of service that we can do for others, I don't think it's just a woman thing either. I think men as well can very much benefit from this. But I know more women in my life who do this act of service on a consistent basis within the areas of our lives that they don't really get much congratulations for. They don't get a lot of celebrations for. Considering your mothers. Our mothers tend to do this work of servitude a lot. And a lot of us, I know there's some that may not have the best relationships with their mothers, but they may have grandmothers that they look to, or maybe they have friends that they look to, maybe aunts. The way I look at it is for those of us that have those examples of women who are very they're service minded. These women, when you look at them, you see their beauty and how much they put their hands to work in order for them to service others. And I think that when it comes to how we can become more beautiful beings, this act of servitude is such a beautiful depiction of what it means to be a person, what it means to be a human on earth, for us to be able to help one another when the other person needs help, for us to be able to help make others' lives easier. I think that's such a beautiful thing. This is all, of course, in part my opinion, and in part some opinions I got from the scriptures. But I hope with this little example that I can give, that this gives a little light into what it might mean to be a more beautiful person on the inside. And maybe this may help others. I think it might help myself with becoming a more beautiful individual in this world where it seems like there's a lot of corruption and there's a lot of evil in this world right now. I think and I hope that this can be something that can be used and be helpful to anyone else that watches it. So if you guys are watching, if you guys watched to the end of this video, I really thank you all for watching. I really appreciate every single one of you that have stayed. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope and pray that we can all make our way to achieving a rested feminine lifestyle.